All right, we are going live to our YouTube audience here, and we are also getting our production going for our syndication with Transform You Media Network and the PAC channel. And we are always giving credit to the Disability Channel. So you're joining us here on our platform for this episode of Blue Collar Crypto, created by Tim Tarosian. So Tim's inspiration with Blue Collar Crypto is all about just basics of cryptocurrency, recognizing that the cryptocurrency industry is missing some participation because many people out there in the world are still apprehensive about diving in. So I'm Kurt Roskoff, and I'm in the production team and hosting team here at the World of Ability Podcast Network. And I felt that this is a great addition to our series of shows here on our platform. So, again, we're in cryptocurrency, and I think we can all agree that cryptocurrency is here to stay. And so when we look at the realm of, building a life of financial planning and considering all options, I think it's safe to say you're not considering all your options in financial planning without considering your position on cryptocurrency, which, we're not trying to stake any claims on, we have to do this, or we're not forming any formulas here for predictable success. So responses could remain, you know what, I'm going to leave my participation on crypto at zero. But our premise here is education, feeling that if we just kind of have basic everyday language and, some beginning look at cryptocurrencies, some of you out there might take another look at it. And who knows, we may have unfolded your journey. Or if you're involved in cryptocurrency, maybe you're going to hear something today that wasn't your perspective yet, and we helped you out. Or maybe you're an expert and you want to reach us out here and take our conversation to the next level. We invite that as well. So in our podcasting journeys and with what I do, I spend a lot of time with a professional group, the Happy Neighborhood Project, founded by who is known now as our Chief Happiness Officer, Edwin Edeberry. And this community of thousands brings us the Happy Neighborhood Project and formulates an experience that is known around the world as happy business networking. This community touts itself as bringing to the world a unique zip code of HAPPY. And so having lots of fun with that, and kind of putting a little zing at working practice by professionals all around the world. And there's a happy co-op. And so in all of these adventures for myself personally, that's where I have met Walter, and Walter comes here. We had a conversation on some other matters, and we shared with him we're doing this Blue Collar Crypto. Walter shares that, he's done some dabbling. Walter has some beginning experiences, and is like the rest of us, not claiming to have advice or not being like a crypto guru or anything like this. But he just said, what, if you're just talking about simple basics, beginnings, and I don't have to worry about what I'm saying here. He said he was comfortable coming in and sharing a little bit. So Walter, we met through the Happy Neighborhood Project, and I kind of gave a little introduction, real simple here, basic, didn't say too much about who you are. I don't know what you want to add in terms of an introduction for our Blue Collar Crypto audience, and then feel free to dive in and kind of recreate a conversation we had before coming on live streaming. Take it away.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you very much. I kind of wore my bluish black shirt here today, just to get into the flow of things. But my name is Walter Grain. I own a company called Grain Funding. We do a lot of funding for startups, e-commerce businesses like that. So if you're looking for anywhere from a zero credit, zero line of credit up to millions of dollars, for bricks and mortar and so on and so forth, we're definitely able to help you with that. But as far as the cryptocurrency world is concerned, I am a follower of cryptocurrency. I do a lot of I do some some investing within the cryptocurrency world. But one thing that a lot of people like to know is what is cryptocurrency? How does cryptocurrency work? Basically, a cryptocurrency is a a run on distributed public ledgers, which is called the blockchain. A record of all transactions are updated and held by currency holders. I know if a lot of people know that how cryptocurrency is created. It's created by these really sophisticated computers, and those are called mining. I have actually a friend of mine who actually does mining himself. He actually builds the computers himself for quite a bit of money. That's people buy these computers in order to mine. Now, a lot of people are familiar with, like say, for instance, Bitcoin. Bitcoin was the very first cryptocurrency that came out a little while ago, and it started taking steam some time ago, and got as high as I think last year, like almost 70,000 as far as per crypto coin itself. And the way these things are mined, like I said before, they have computers that mine these, and you can have one computer, you can have 30 computers. It doesn't really matter. They get pretty hot, so you have to have it in a stable environment that will support both electricity as well as heat is concerned. And you configure them to whatever coin you want to actually mine. Like that could be Bitcoin, it could be Ethereum, it could be Cardano, it could be Shiba Inu, whatever the situation is, and then you kind of go from there. A lot of people do invest in cryptocurrency because I view myself, and this is my opinion, I view myself as this being a all encompassing Wall Street, meaning that Wall Street is something that is on Wall Street, and you can obviously invest in the Cokes and the Apples and all the Nasdaq, the S&P 500 and so on and so forth. But this gives the common everyday man and woman an opportunity to say, hey, if I have a little bit of extra cash, I can take this and doing my research, whatever that research might be. It could be on Twitter, it could be on Google, it could be on Bing or whatever it is. I want to invest in cryptocurrency. And a lot of people choose the avenue when they do invest. They go to apps called Coinbase. Coinbase is a platform that you literally can download the app, look for the specific coin that you want, and then you can invest in that, and then you can follow that app as it progresses or degresses. And that's one thing that I want to emphasize. I'm not a financial advisor at all, so you need to make sure that you take your money and use it wisely, so that you can invest in an opportunity that might potentially give you a little bit extra money. I have a couple of friends that have invested in cryptocurrency. As a matter of fact, one of my friends, this is actually a pretty wild story. He invested in Dogecoin, which is another coin which is kind of really emphasized by Elon Musk, who just bought Twitter, or is in the process of buying Twitter for $45 billion. But he also touted Dogecoin. Dogecoin got to as high as 70 cents. And you might be thinking, well, that's not very much. But if you buy it at 0.00001% and it goes up to 70 cents, you're going to make quite a bit of money. So my friend, who actually invested in Dogecoin back in the day, he invested, I think it was a 0.001 or 0018 or something like that. Invested like $1,000 or $2,000, whatever it was. He wound up retiring. At the age of 37 because he built up because once it got to 70 cents, he had quite a bit of coin in his bank account, and he actually wound up moving to Costa Rica, and now he has a house there and is trying to establish himself there before he goes off and does whatever adventures he has. Now, this is not something that is unequivocally normal, but it's something that can happen. But for the most part, doing your research, whether it be Dogecoin, Shiba Inu, Bitcoin, and all the other ones that I mentioned, you can make a solid, a decent investment, and hopefully with looking at the progress of these coins, whether it be in Robinhood or Coinbase, which Robinhood is another app that you can actually download in order to invest. Then you can hopefully come out for the best. What I've had some questions here that I'm kind of going through. What are the four types of cryptocurrency? The four major types of cryptocurrency are utility, payments, security, and stable coins. There's also DeFi tokens, NFTs, and I'll talk about that in a couple of seconds, and asset-backed tokens. I want to talk about some of the main ones. Obviously, cryptocurrency is one of the main ones, but one of the other ones is called NFT, which is non-fungible tokens. Now, if you go on and you type in NFTs, you're going to see a bunch of not clips or images or what? Yeah, let's say images of anything from, I don't know, a hippo to a clown figure to a whatever. But people are paying millions and millions of dollars for these NFTs because they are valuable, because they use them either towards a marketing situation, or they use them for their business, or whatever, or just for a regular investment. Also, I know that a lot of people are, when I first heard of cryptocurrency several years ago, as a matter of fact, it was Bitcoin. A friend of mine had introduced me to it, and I was like, what is this monopoly money thing going on? I don't really understand. I didn't understand at the time, and I'm just now getting to learn it to make sure that I do understand, because it's something that is definitely now and also for the future, and I'll talk about that as well. But I didn't invest in it at that particular time. I wish that I would have, because I would have been a little bit more an expert of it today, because some of these people are making millions and millions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars. Not saying that that's the claim that I'm telling that you're going to have, but it's something that you definitely have to do your research on, and making sure that you feel comfortable when you have some extra money to invest within the cryptocurrency world. Also, if you I have a question here saying that, can cryptocurrency be converted to cash? Well, Bitcoin can be sold in a cryptocurrency exchange, and one of the cryptocurrency exchanges, oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it, is oh my gosh, I'm having basically what it comes down to is that it can be sold to individuals. It can be sold on the marketplace. Unicorn. It can be sold on Unicorn and then converted to cash if you choose to do that. Once it's sold, the money can go into a debit card associated with your particular account. So say, for instance, I'm gonna do Coinbase, because Coinbase is something that I regularly invest in and actually look at. So I have a credit card. It's actually in my car. It's a debit card that if I buy Bitcoin, okay, so for instance, I buy Bitcoin and I want to convert that to cash on Coinbase in order to purchase items, everyday items, I can actually do that. I can actually use my Bitcoin in order to purchase, food, cars, houses, trinkets, whatever you might do. Whatever you might do. And obviously it goes up and down. So you need to make sure that once it does go up, obviously your dollar amount goes up as well. And then you can use that money in order to buy things. Now, obviously, when you buy things, the Bitcoin, as far as the coin itself, the value of the coin itself actually goes down. So say, for instance, you have I don't know, $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, which is a fraction of what the actual Bitcoin is actually worth today. You will have basically $1,000. Now, if it happens to go up to 1,500, now you have 1,500. But if it goes down to 500 or 250, now you have $500 or $250 or $500 bucks. So that's kind of the way it works, at least in my world, as far as that's concerned. There are a lot more extensive things that you can get into, like say for instance Unicorn, where they have gas fees and all that kind of stuff. But that's for a different conversation. I kind of alluded to the future of Bitcoin, or actually I'm sorry, of cryptocurrency. Um, People feel that it will triple in value and be a world currency possibly by 2030. Don't quote me on that, but that's possibly by 2030. And you're probably thinking, okay, why would we have a world currency when we have the dollar, we have the peso, we have this, we have that? Because I want to have the advantage without calling my bank and telling them I'm going to use international card and all that kind of stuff. I want to have the ability to just hop on a plane, go to Europe or whatever I want to do, and pull out my cryptocurrency credit card and just start paying for stuff. And that's a big advantage that is had in the cryptocurrency world, and also gives the common man the power, which I was kind of alluding to before, of the Wall Street example, to say, okay, what we're going to do is that we're going to invest our own money, we're going to control our own destiny, and then make sure that that we control our own destiny, so we can retire early or whatever it might be. Again, these are not financial. Don't use it as a financial plan. Obviously, continue to use your IRAs or Roths or whatever it might be. But this is just another piece that you can use in order to help you with your finances today, as well as your finances in the future. And that's what I got for you.
All right, excellent. That that was well prepared. So thank you for doing all that. And so I guess my part of the conversation last we talked about this was along the lines, you made some remarks about people saying it's like monopoly money and things like that. So I think there is a little bit of a point there when I cite the disclaimer here. We're not giving investment advice or trying to prompt anything where people are putting their money out and then have something that people are going to regret and have dissonance with, and then come back to me and say, Kurt, why are you guys talking about this? I actually got all ambitious and put some money in there. So I've kind of thought about it like with a casino analogy, that there is a little bit of a gamble here. There's until you start to get an advanced look, it completely is a bunch of factors that we don't have control over. And until you learn how to play the game a little better, it's like when you walk into a casino, for those people that really get to learn the, how to play the odds and, all the different factors and, the mathematics behind it or whatever, strategies, you can kind of refine your approach to the same situation and have something where you're building a little bit more success from it. And so I guess that's the way I think of this, is that definitely people are out there doing stuff with crypto and having good success. And when I say like it's here to stay, I've heard some people talk about like with US taxes, the IRS has, taken a look at how people are shifting to this, and to keep with what our US federal government is doing with us taxpayers, the cryptocurrency factor is there. So, I mean, if people are on an extension where they still are putting in a filing, or if they've already filed and we're starting to build stuff up for how we're going to file taxes next year, the cryptocurrency activity definitely plays a role in that. And, I'm sure there's still the tolerances that, at certain, dollar levels, it's maybe insignificant, but this is all stuff I haven't learned yet either, in terms of, like, is the IRS concerned with $30 of crypto? Might take a guess. No.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but I mean, you never know. They might go to the extreme and be like, everything's going to be taxed, but then they also might go to the other extreme, that maybe a certain amount, over a certain amount, will be taxed. That's something that obviously the government is going to eventually determine, because obviously they want to get their hands involved in it too, because this is a multi billion-dollar industry, and it will just continue to grow. I understand that the stock market has taken a big hit over the course of the past several months, as well as Bitcoin, which kind of follows suit with with Wall Street. But the fact of the matter is that it's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. People want to decentralize from the banks in order to literally could just kind of control their own destiny, which is kind of the way society is today. It's basically, hey, I want to control my own destiny. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to try to make as much money as I possibly can without having to depend on entities, larger entities within Wall Street or whatever. And they just want to try to control their own destiny. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and obviously, cryptocurrency is an innovation, and with all innovations, it runs through its cycles of entering the marketplace. I think we all can kind of remember back to a day when cryptocurrency was not a thing, at least in our lives.
Right.
So all of us had that certain rate at which we came into realizing what's going on out there in the financial world, learning about Bitcoin and so forth. And now it's all elevated to where there's like so many, different options. It's become a monstrosity, as we're talking about here. And so we all have our different experiences about how this entered in, and being an invention and innovation, the entry into the marketplace becomes, you have your innovators are all right there, right from the get-go, and realizing right from introduction, like those innovators, they're like, I'm in this thing. I'm getting in at the ground floor. This thing's going to be something. And that's how it all grows to where we more learn about it across all of mainstream. And then you have your early adopters, and then you have laggers. So those of us that still are not tipping our toe into, cryptocurrency, we're definitely in this lagger phase, because this has been around long enough that it has proven itself. It has its, actuarial science, I guess is the word I was thinking of, that these mathematicians are out there working on this thing, because it is a beast of its own. It is, the new age of finances, and it is where we're going, because the world is growing more and more to be where position, location, coordinates, are becoming less and less significant. Like you talked about the flexibility of going to Europe and whatever, everything, technology is availing this, that whether you're in the Eastern hemisphere, Eastern world, or by us in the Western world, Western hemisphere, north, south, whatever, our world is growing like the Walt Disney World thing. It's a small world after all, and so this financial direction is really feeding into that, where through technology we can, make which country you're in less and less significant, and everything kind of gets on a little bit of an exchange rate that's a little bit more unified and recognized all around the world, and everybody around the world can participate, in the same numerical reference. When you buy $1 of crypto, well, I suppose you do have to worry about, are you converting to $1 US? You still have all of that aspect, which if we're going to cash out, which direction are we cashing out? What's your experience with that in terms of seeing in your account digitally to it becomes something where you buy a product with it? What have you been doing with it in terms of the numbers building up and it's there? Do you just leave it sit there as an investment, or are you using it for purchases?
I do both. Okay. So what I would do, the optimum thing that you want to do, because again, it's a very volatile situation, at least right now. So what I usually do is I have some money invested, and I have a certain number that like for it to get to as far as dollar amount is concerned. And then any profit, I usually take it and go do something with it, you know, pay a bill or I don't know, because you can literally do that. Which is what's fantastic about this. You have people, many people who are a lot more experienced than I am, that are sitting on this call or looking at this call, and they follow this, you know, to the nth degree on a daily basis, and they take their money and then they can either, you know, cash it out depending on what their profit margin is, or they leave it in there and let it just kind of ride the way. It is really quite astounding what could happen with just a little bit of cash that you might have. And again, I'm not making any predictions whether it goes up or down or whatever, but I've seen the highs and I've seen the lows. I mean, the lows right now, as far as for Bitcoin is concerned, I think it's around $31,000 per Bitcoin. And I'm just using Bitcoin as an example because it's one of the more popular ones. But just last year it was at almost 70. That's phenomenal. There's this one story that I saw. I think I read about this. There was this guy who, his family, there was Bitcoin. This is back in the day. Bitcoin is like at like $850, $950 per Bitcoin. And he wound up buying like 5 or 6 of them or something like that. And now he's a pretty, you know, he has, you know, quite a bit of money because his wife told him to invest in this. And he wound up, quitting his job, starting an entrepreneurial business, and it's kind of goes from there. So that's what I'm trying to say. This is because Wall Street has always been kind of a mystery. Okay, yeah, I can talk to a financial advisor and invest in Coke or Amazon or Apple or whatever, but there's never been a medium like this. This is something that I'm going to do what I need to do to hopefully help my family, doing it logically, doing my research and having the extra money that I'm going to, you know, extra income, and using that to hopefully advance my financial situation. I think that's the beauty of it. You know, there's never been anything like this. Maybe E-Trade or something like that, but this is like something that's like directly, like I can put some money in, I can look at it, it can go up, and then I can cash out, and I'm good. You know, and I think that's fascinating.
So when you look at the value of Bitcoin going up, you know, how do we look at, you know, the value of this currency going up? Because, you know, with other currencies, whether you talk about euros or pesos or the American dollar, Canadian dollar, you know, there's different things going on in the economies of these countries, and with their governments, the work that the government is doing that drives the value of the currency and influences the exchange rate. So now you've got cyberspace, cryptocurrency, you know, how you define Bitcoin and how you can trade it, like you said, on Unicorn and stuff like that. You know, how do you explain how you can buy Bitcoin, you can invest in a current, that'd be like, you know, converting our US dollar to a Canadian dollar or US dollar to a peso, you know, and then just investing in that. We just put our money in a different currency and just sit back, and now the value changes, which does happen. I mean, is that literally, you know, what's going on at Bitcoin? I mean, it's electrons, it's computers, technology. What's going on in there?
Right, and that is something that is well versed in, like in algorithms and all that kind of stuff. But yes, you can literally take $100, put it into Bitcoin, watch Bitcoin go up to, in your particular case, maybe it's $120, $130, cash out. There you go, bam. It's like that easy. I mean, what I think is actually incredible. But if you were to do the same thing with Wall Street, then it's not as volatile, okay? But it'd be a little bit more difficult for you to get your money out of the stock. There'll be fees and all that kind of stuff. That's what they mean by decentralization. Decentralization just avoids all that stuff, you know? If I want to take $100 and make $120, or make $20 with my $100 investment, and I want to take out $120 or use my Coinbase debit card or whatever to purchase or buy something, I can do that now. You know, which and that's never happened. Which is why it may sound simple. It may sound like kind of unbelievable because we've never ever been in this environment before, and but it happens on a daily basis.
Yeah, and I think what we're looking at here is the world is going through a natural process for, where is our comfort level going to plateau, where we've saturated the marketplace with the 7.8 billion people taking a look at their comfort zone to just kind of throw their economics into, being run by ones and zeros. And, the idea of like, it's in your wallet, it's in a, billfold, like you don't need a billfold, like those products called billfolds, we're going to get to where we're not going to need those things anymore because everything's going to be electronic. So it's basically, to me, investing in a technology piece, and we're watching how this technology piece is replacing the paper and the physical coin with the, with the rare minerals and stuff like that, the gold, the silver, so I mean, there's that whole world that people are saying because of the paper money losing its value, invest in the rare minerals like like gold, silver, and so forth. So there's all of these factors at play, and people, they just want to do what they want to do, they want to have what they want to have, and it's all path of least resistance.
Right.
As you and I and Emily are sitting here, it's like when we look at what we got to do, what we want to take care of in our life, if cryptocurrency is that path of lesser resistance, we're going to go ahead and participate in that because it's better than using that greenback, a $20 bill or whatever, that we hold in our hand.
And I think that's even more fascinating that this is not the future. This is like now. If you want to, and not a lot of people, will carry their debit card or carry their credit card or whatever, but you don't have to. Only thing you need is this. That's it. I mean, like literally, you can put everything on Google Pay or Apple Pay or whatever it might be, and you just carry your phone around. Make sure it's secured, but you can carry your phone around and just bloop 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 everything. You know what I'm saying? Which is fantastic. Now some people will carry, it's readily available now with a lot of retailers, but some of them don't. Like say for instance, Home Depot. Hello, Home Depot. You listening out there? They don't do anything as far as NFC on your phone is concerned. It's all about your credit cards or cash, which is fine. That's fine. But there are a lot of other companies that you can literally walk in either with your Apple Watch. You can walk in with your phone, and you can put your information on Google Pay or Apple Pay or whatever it might be, and you just blip blop it all over the place, which is I think that's incredibly powerful, And then eventually, which is happening in a lot of countries right now, where they're adopting this cryptocurrency. That you'll be able to walk into a shop or a store or whatever, and just buy stuff, which I think is great, which is great. So now you don't have to worry about, calling your bank and saying, oh, by the way, I'm going to be over in Europe somewhere. Can you make sure that you do the exchange right correctly and blah, 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 blah. Now this just decentralizes everything. You just walk into a place, use your phone, use your Apple Watch or whatever you might want to do, and just buy stuff. Which is what, I don't know. I think that's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly. So I was kind of mentioning before about going back in time and for ourselves personally. What do you recall from your experience where for you personally, you went from not knowing anything about it, you remembering anything about how you first caught onto it, seeing it in newspapers, seeing it on TV? What do you recall from before there was Bitcoin or crypto to now you're doing what you're doing? what are you remembering from this entering into your life?
I remember entering my life because of, again, I said a friend of mine had just saw crypto or Bitcoin somewhere. I don't know if it was on the internet or whatever it was, and I was just kind of skeptical. Like, this doesn't really. At the time, I just didn't know anything about it, because it's like, hey, you got to get this Bitcoin. Buy 100 Bitcoin and you're gonna be rich. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I didn't like explain it to me. What is blockchain? What is stable coin? What is all this stuff? Of course, he didn't have the answer. And then now fast forwarding to today, during the course of, I mean, I didn't do research on it all the time, but just through osmosis and so on and so forth, looking at it, and it's something that it's like literally you should not pass on. If you passed on Amazon back in the mid 90s, that probably wasn't a good choice to do. If you pass on this in 2022 and even before this and even beyond this, it's something that needs to be taken a serious look at. Again, please do whatever you need to do for your research. There's plenty of information on either YouTube, which is a channel that we're currently on right now, or Google, or Bing, or Yahoo, or whatever. Even download the app. Download the app, which is Coinbase. It should be in your Apple Store or your Google Play Store, and just you don't have to buy anything. Just look at it, see what's going on, because they actually have research in there too. They actually have articles in there about about the either the volatility or non-volatility of each particular coin. They also have updates in there as far as what's going up and what's going down. It's really quite fascinating that you can have everything just in your hand, and during the proper research, take your financial situation to the next level.
Yeah, excellent. All right. Well, this has been fun, Walter. Thank you very much for being a guest with us today. And, just a really neat experience that you and I connected for something more in your wheelhouse in terms of financial solutions on a more business commercial, or, and just, other things that are there more directly that you represent and that we lean on you for. But you and I were able to have a personal conversation, and you learned about Tim's creating this show here. And so this has been exactly what, Tim has intended. He saw this need to, have dialogue and to have, a show type of thing where people, like you say, do your research, to have this here and have this be something that kind of guide people to their own thoughts. Like you talked about your friend coming to you. And I guess Tim is trying to be that friend to the blue collar community out there to say, hey, if somebody doesn't have that friend like Walter had, hey, maybe we can be that friend and, get you thinking about it so you can have that same adventure that Walter's had. So this has been perfect. Again, thank you very much. And so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Again, Walter and I have had connected through the Happy Neighborhood Project. If you're curious about what that piece of our experience has been, you can go to happyneighborhoodproject.com. And when I'm there at HNP, I'm representing the Disability Channel. So I always give great kudos to our team there with the Disability Channel. I'm an ambassador with the Disability Channel. And so getting into all this media stuff here, we have a collaborative project in this with Transform You Media Network, and all of this coming together to produce a cumulative element, this platform, World of Ability Podcast Network. And we are being syndicated with the PAC channel, our friend Zach Clayton, that we also met through the Happy Neighborhood Project. So a lot of neat stuff coming together through these shows that we do, and couldn't be doing it without everybody out there being our viewers, our audiences, watching and listening, because that's what it's all about. I mean, if we're just, sitting here in cyberspace and nothing's happening, we're just, a video that's dormant and going nowhere. So thanks everybody. Feel free to give your comments, reach out to me. You're seeing on my display my phone number. You can call or text me 262-372-1754. And I have a radio show that I do every Wednesday evening at 8:30 Eastern. It's Ability MK Now. So abilitymknow@gmail.com is an email address. You can reach me. Feel free to do that. And with that, Walter, did you want to leave any information at all or any references that if people
Yeah,
liked
sure.
your side of this way that they can outreach to you for whatever reason?
Yeah, sure. They can get in contact with me at my phone number, which is 470-331-8440. All that also they can go to LinkedIn. And I'll be under Walter Grain with Grain Funding, and also Alignable Grain Funding as well. And I'm in a lot of happy H&P H&P groups. Obviously one with Kurt. So but yeah, you can find me. You can find me anywhere. I also have a Instagram page, which is Grain Funding, and you if you choose to get funding through us, whether it be revolving credit or a 0% line of credit or some $1 million project, we can definitely help you out with it.
All right, excellent. So we're here for you every week, everybody. So keep tuning in, keep following our next episodes, and we will see you next time. Bye for now.